Hello friends, I am currently 6 months postpartum. I thought we would do a little update video on how things are going, what things have been helpful these last 6 months, what things are still hard. Let's just talk about all the things. If you are new here, my name is Lauren. I am the mom to 4 amazing boys. We live here in Alaska. And last year we got pregnant with twin baby girls. And unfortunately we had a very traumatic pregnancy and ended up losing one of our babies due to complications around twin transfusion. So I have all sorts of videos talking about that, the whole process of the pregnancy. It has not been easy. It has been a rough road. I'll start off with how we're doing in general. We're doing pretty darn good. We made it through the winter. It was a very long winter here in Alaska, plus all the trauma that we went through. We were just excited for winter to be over. Summer is a good distraction. Planning for summer has been good, and just getting more time together as a family has been really good for just our souls. Having 4 other children, now 5 other children, has been a huge distraction from the grief of losing our baby Maggie. The rest of your family still needs you, so that keeps you getting up in the morning and moving forward. Now, with that being said, grief does not have a timeline, and things still make me very emotional. And I just make sure that for me personally, if I'm having something that's going on, I just talk to Mark about it. And that seems to be really helpful, so that we can kind of share in those feelings and not just like be having those feelings all alone. You just never know when like a flashback is going to come, or just feelings are going to come. So I try and just let myself feel those feelings, work through them, and keep moving forward. For me, a lot of those triggers are seeing twins, whether that's in real life or on social media. So I have to be really careful with what I'm consuming on social media. Because when I got pregnant with the girls, I followed a lot of people that had twins to kind of I was getting excited, getting tips and tricks and things. So I've had to make sure that I am not, I've just kind of been weeding those out of my social media feed so that I'm not being triggered by that all the time. If like their content is all about twins, like that's not helpful to me anymore. I don't have twins here on earth. I've got one in heaven and one here on earth. So yes. Another thing is baby Violet is amazing. Like, she has brought so much joy and love into our family. We all are just obsessed with her. But if I'm being honest, she has been probably one of our most difficult babies for a few reasons. She was born 10 weeks early. She was a preemie. Going through the NICU experience is draining and demanding emotionally and physically. And then once she got home, she still had some issues. She's just tiny. She's still tiny. It's kind of fun how tiny she is sometimes, because people are like, wait, why is that baby holding her head up? I'm like, oh, she's really 6 months, even though she's really tiny. It just shocks people. But she also came home with reflux. We've gotten that a bit under control. She never caught on to breastfeeding, so I pump and we bottle feed her. She's pretty much 100% been fed by breast milk, whether that was freeze-dried breast milk, frozen breast milk, or me pumping. I'm hoping to make it to about 7 months exclusively breastfeeding. I'm exclusively pumping and feeding her, and then I will start to introduce some formula once my back stash runs out. I am running out of the stash that I had when I was in the hospital. My milk has dropped dramatically, so I don't feel like I'm going to try and keep pumping as long as possible, but I will at some point have to supplement with formula, and I'm okay with that. That's just where we're at, but I still pump every day, feed her bottles, and being a bottle fed baby, it just is a lot of work, but it does have some benefits to it as well, because Mark can feed her, my mom can feed her, the boys can feed her, so that they've gotten to bond with her in a way that Mark didn't get to bond with our other kids that were just exclusively breastfed. So it just adds a lot of time, washing bottles, sterilizing bottles, all those things. So she's been a tricky baby. She has just demanded a lot of attention, and I'm okay with that. I know that this is baby number 5 for me. I know that there are different seasons with having kids, and that they go through different things, and you just sometimes have to give them more attention and energy than you will have to give them in the future. And that is where we are at with Violet. So that's been a great distraction, having this beautiful baby to take care of. And my heart just breaks for anybody that, has a stillborn or a miscarriage. And I just know that that's so, so hard. And I've just got my own, having twins and losing one, you have all your own emotions with that. They're all just different, but I just know that they're all so tender and hard. It's all hard. But there's a lot of tender mercies, a lot of beautiful things happening as well. And we try and focus on those. We try not to push our grief. We don't want to bottle up our grief either. Try and feel those things. We're getting to the point where we're just going to do a little family memorial for her, for baby Maggie here in the next couple months. And I'm finally ready to kind of think through what we want to do for her. And so it feels good to be in that headspace, because before we just didn't have the energy or the emotional energy to do that while taking care of Violet in such a hard situation in the NICU and stuff. That being said, Violet is a demanding baby, but I don't know that I have ever felt so in tune with one of my babies. I'm sure I did at certain points, but I feel so in tune with her. When she's hungry, when she's ready for a nap. Some people are like, wow, she's really fussy. I'm like, oh, she's just tired. Oh, nope, it's just time for her bottle. She lets us know exactly what she needs. And I feel so in tune with that it just feels like a very, very special bond. So that is where we are at with the grieving process. And that's a little bit of where we're at with the grieving process. And Violet, 6 months in, she's so special. We love her so much. But 5 kids is wild. That's another thing. 5 kids that need your attention is wild. Our teenagers need different things than your newborn needs. And so trying to meet the needs of everybody, that requires a lot of energy, a lot of time. Thankfully, Mark is very, very involved with our boys, takes them on amazing adventures when I need to stay home with the baby or some of the kids. We do some things all together, and then we've learned that it's important to divide and conquer on other things, because 5 kids is a lot, but it feels very, very beautiful as well. All right, I'm gonna finish up this hair and then we'll keep chatting. Next, I want to share a few things that were helpful over the last 6 months and some things that were maybe not so helpful, just in case you have somebody in your life that's going through a difficult experience. Things that were really helpful. People just saying, I love you and I'm thinking about you. So helpful. Stopping for a genuine hug. the person, me in this example, will probably burst into tears, but people that like stopped for like a genuine hug, it just meant so much to me over the last 6 months. Using baby Maggie's name, asking her name. Like if I say, oh, she was a twin, if they say, oh, what was her sister's name? Like acknowledging that she was real is so meaningful to me. Asking questions like that. Some things that weren't helpful, asking, what can I do? Or I'm here to help when you need it. Reach out to me. That just was never helpful. We were so bogged down with our grief and emotions. We didn't know what we needed help with, but people that just like dropped off a treat or dropped off a snack or dropped off a present and said, oh, I'm thinking about you. That was so helpful. Just like showing up and letting me talk was so helpful. But asking me what I needed help with, I just didn't have any bandwidth to ask for help. But people that would say, hey, I have a couple hours. Can I come over and visit with you or help sweep your floor? I would probably say yes. Or I would tell them, oh, it's not a good time, but I knew that they cared. Does that make sense? Like, don't say, what can I do to help? And then like, feel like you checked off the box. And I know that I'm guilty of that in the past. But just actually have something to do that you want to like, think about it. What could I do to help that person? And then offer that up instead of waiting for them to ask, because you just don't have the bandwidth to ask for help. But you do need help, and you appreciate the people that do just step up and bring dinner or bring a snack or let you know that they're thinking about you. So that was really, really helpful. Our viewers played a huge role in that. I've never received so many kind cards. Both for baby Violet and for baby Maggie. Sweet little gifts. At the end of this video, I hope to go through some of those things that have come and finally do a project with them. I just feel like I have the energy and the emotional energy to do that now. But just acknowledging her and them means so much. Because she's on my mind all the time. So when people just don't... Anyways, she's on my mind all the time. So when she's acknowledged, it just feels comforting. So thank you to those that have reached out. Emails, cards, prayers, all those things. And by no means do people need to do that. And I don't need anybody to send anything else. But just know that we were really grateful for everybody that did. And I know people continue to pray for us. And that's really helped. And Violet is doing amazing. And I know that we've been strengthened through this whole process by those prayers and through a loving Heavenly Father. So that has really been the rock of what's gotten us through all this, is our faith in Jesus Christ and God. Whew. All right, my mom said she'd watch Violet for a few minutes while I finish getting ready, but I know that it's getting to be her nap time, so let me go grab her. And then we'll keep chatting about 6 months postpartum. Man, I just like, some days I feel like, wow, this has felt like a really long 6 months. And then other times it's like, whoa, we blinked and it's been 6 months. Having a baby born 2 months early makes you feel like the newborn phase lasts a really, really long time because she's still wearing 0 to 3 month clothes. She's 11 pounds. I had 10-pound babies, 9 and 10-pound babies. So she feels like a newborn still at 6 months. Her doctor's fine. She's growing great. You know, she was 3 pounds. So to be over 11 pounds now, she's almost, 4 times what she was. So but it is crazy. It just makes it feel like a really, really long time. And with I'm just trying to soak it all in. So let me go grab her, because I know my mommy senses are telling me it's about time for her nap. My mommy senses were right. She is definitely ready for a nap. So we gotta get her room ready for a nap. Okay, okay. Quite fast. I'm telling you. Sleep, play, eat, play, sleep, play, eat, play. That's what she does all day. It's like clockwork. It's a very rare occasion that she makes it like to a second feeding without taking at least a little power nap. She just needs that. But she's a growing girl, so we just follow her cues. While I was rocking her, a few more things came to mind that were both helpful and not so helpful in this last 6 months. Some people gave us gift cards. Those have been so helpful for nights where I just don't feel like I can cook. We've been able to take the family out to some meals that we don't usually do. And, like the gift card kind of took the thought, like the decision fatigue out of it. We're like, oh, well, we have a gift card to Texas Roadhouse. Let's go. We have a gift card to, somebody sent me one to my favorite salad and macaron shop. All right, let's go grab some salads and macarons at Sweet Caribou because somebody sent the gift card. So gift cards were really, really helpful. Several of our viewers sent like a Subway gift card and a Visa gift card. Mark and I went out for our anniversary using that Visa gift card. So it just like gave us the permission, not that we need the permission, but to like, okay, you need a break, let's just use those gift cards, is what it did for us. So that was very helpful. Now, one thing that people can say sometimes that is not helpful, I'll just be honest with you, is anything that starts with, well, at least fill in the blank. Well, at least you still have one baby. Not helpful. Very hurtful, actually. Well, at least, I don't know, you have 4 other healthy babies. Well, at least, it just, if you feel that just anything that followed that statement never felt good. And I know that it's always hard to know the right thing to say. Also, telling somebody that they need to move on and not be sad is never helpful because we don't get to choose when those feelings of grief hit. And so telling somebody just to move on never feels good. And if there's anything that I've learned this last 6 months is that you can be really, really happy and really, really sad together, almost at the same time, almost within the same instant. Not always. Sometimes you are just going to feel really down for a couple hours or a couple days. For some people, I know they might even need more help, from a therapist or a doctor. Thankfully, I have not felt that need at this point. I do think I'll probably need some therapy in the future to kind of unpack all the feelings, but I've thankfully not had postpartum depression on top of it. I've just felt these waves of emotions. Nothing that I don't feel like I can't handle. But if you need that help, if you're grieving and watching this, get the help. Talk to your doctor. I've just really tried to keep on track of how I'm feeling. And if I was feeling really, really, really low, I would get help. But thankfully, I have just felt highs and lows and everything in between. And that's okay. I just expect to feel those things. And I just, yeah. I don't know if that's helpful, but telling somebody to move on and to not feel sad, it's like impossible. It's impossible. You're going to feel sad at times. You've been changed. Your life is different. You can't go back to who you were because your life has changed. For me, I believe in eternal families. So makes me want to be a better person here. To honor Maggie just makes me want to be a better person. All right, next topic, now that we've covered that twice. One thing that I have put on the back burner, I do feel like, is like my actual health, food, exercise, that kind of thing. For about 2 weeks, I went back to the gym, but I did it from like 9 to 10:30 at night. I would take Hunter or Bennett with me, but it just wasn't sustainable. Mark needed to get things done in the evening, and if Violet wasn't asleep, he kind of just, his whole evening got consumed by her. Plus the exhaustion. I was just exhausted. So I was trying to do it at that time because that felt like a time that like Mark was here to watch the baby, but I just got exhausted. It put me to bed way too late because I'd come home and shower and pump and then go to bed. So that is something that has been put on the back burner. I've just eaten whatever I felt like eating the last 6 months. I've gone on lots of walks. That's about where I'm at. And I've been okay with that. I've given myself grace to just like, that's where I was at. But I am starting to feel like it's not okay now. Like, okay, we gotta focus in on eating a little bit better. I gotta move my body more. I'm starting to feel uncomfortable in my own skin. So that is something that I really want to focus on as summer winds down and the school year starts next year. And maybe as I'm getting more sleep, hopefully baby girl will start to sleep through the night more consistently. Although we probably shouldn't say anything like that. I'll just jinx it. She has only slept through the night a few times up to this point. So as I get more sleep, I can focus in on eating better and maybe getting to the gym. Or just moving my body more and feel more like myself in that respect. I'm not there yet, but that is something that I want to focus on. Another thing that I have put off for these 6 months is going and getting some doctor's appointments done. I feel like I had like some doctor appointment fatigue after so many appointments with the pregnancy and then Violet being in the hospital for 6 weeks. I just kind of couldn't bring myself to make any appointments, but I finally made an appointment with my regular physician for like my yearly physical and do all the blood work and everything. And also for my dermatologist, I'm having some like weird coloration stuff. They think that maybe they call it like melasma or something. So I'm going to go get things checked out. That is something that I need to do while my parents are here this summer and I have a little bit more help. I can go get some doctor's appointments and just make sure everything's okay. I have done a lot of TV watching, more than I normally do. The Great British Baking Show, I have watched more hours of that while pumping and feeding and rocking baby Violet than I care to admit to. And then that makes me want to bake yummy treats afterwards or have Bennett bake some yummy treats because he watches it with me and then he's like, ooh, I want to make something. So that's how I've been coping, is Great British Baking Show. I sometimes watch movies or things, but sometimes certain things are just a bit too emotional to watch at this point. And so I try and avoid, adding to that if possible. So continuing to work on our YouTube channel has been a helpful thing for me. These past 6 months, I have had some help with that to keep it going because having a newborn is very demanding. I'm just working through what it looks like to continue having this YouTube channel, but it has been something nice to like, oh, you take the baby, I'm going to work on this for 2 hours. That's a great escape for me rather than sitting and like scrolling on my phone for 2 hours or something like that. So yeah, I've been happy to continue sharing on YouTube. All right, I have a box of things here that I have not looked through for a while. I just wasn't ready, but I feel like it would be a fun project to get some of these hung up on the wall and maybe go to Michael's Arts and Crafts and get some frames for some of these things. So these are some things that have been sent to us that I would like. I just think I'm ready. So let's just look at a few. Oh, this is a pretty violet. Looking through this will kind of get me, I need to gather some stuff before we do Maggie's memorial. So I'll just remember what's in here because, you know, mom brain just had a lot on my mind these last 6 months. And so just got to take it a day at a time and do things when you feel ready. Put that in the garden. Oh, we need to put our wind chime out. This is something I would suggest that if you kind of are going through a grieving process and people are giving you things, just have a box that you put it in until you're ready to kind of process through it all. It's been good to just have a place so that I can put it there and then knew that I would come back to it. Okay, so here's a watercolor of a magnolia and a violet that I would like to get framed. This one's already framed, a cardinal. This is a star that somebody had named after Maggie. We'll get that framed. Part of the International Star Registry. One day we're going to find it up in the sky. Some of these pieces of jewelry I'm going to keep for Violet to have one day. And then some I wear. Okay, so I got a couple things that need to be framed. I know I have one more. Oh, here it is. So it's 2 cardinals and a magnolia tree. Isn't that beautiful? So some things will go on the wall, some things will go in like a little memorial case that I'm going to put together for Maggie. And then also Violet's like keepsakes. But I think it's time to get some of these put in frames. Many of you love our cat Luna and are probably wondering how she's doing with baby Violet. So when we first brought her home, she wanted nothing to do with Violet. Now she kind of pretends like she doesn't care, even though she really does care. So like the other day I had I was kind of slow to getting to Violet. Violet was in her crib crying. And in the monitor, I heard Luna like crying. She was outside the door like, "Mom, come get your baby." And so I came up and she was just meowing so loudly at me. I have a video here. I took a video because she was just very concerned about baby Violet. So when she's crying, she comes running. She often will sit like just right out of reach and just kind of, you know, inspect and make sure everything's okay, but she doesn't ever come close to Violet, which I'm okay with. But she's always just kind of nearby and cares, but doesn't want to get too close, which that's fine. I do find Luna getting a little bit jealous when the brothers are like giving Violet attention. So I'll show a picture here. Luna was sitting close by while Weston was playing with Violet and was like, excuse me. She kept meowing like, you need to give me some attention too. So she does get a little bit jealous, but you know, she still gets a lot of attention from all of us and she's doing fine. meet her in the car, but she was not interested. But thankfully she is now. She's out. Okay, baby girl woke up happy. I got my stack of frames. We just gotta get them up to the front and check out. Buy one, get two free. I think this was the time to come and get some frames. Whew, that was a lot of work, but I'm glad that I found what I needed. We're gonna pull the car up because I didn't want all the frames to go splat in the parking lot. So get you in your car seat. All right, friends, that was a successful outing getting those picture frames. I'm excited to see them come together tomorrow. Got home, fed Violet a bottle, got her to bed, and then I like blink and it's, 11:30 at night and I need to get myself to bed. Gotta go wash bottles before I can go to sleep. So we're gonna do that project tomorrow. Yes, Luna. Hi, sweetheart. Is it time for bed? Yeah. Hi. I will come cuddle with you in a few minutes. I gotta wash bottles. Good night for now. Good morning, friends. Let's frame some pictures. So I ended up with a lot of matching frames. I don't think I'm gonna hang everything together, but I wanted to be able to mix and match. And of course, Inspector Luna is here. She's like, what are you doing, Mom? Just in case I wanted to move them next to each other. I love a good like mishmash frame, but I was just having a hard time because I needed so many like specific sizes. It was just easier for me to kind of go with this one gray frame. And then we'll be able to hang them together or separate and find places for all these fun things. I'm so happy with how these turned out. And Violet's sleeping, so I'm not gonna hang anything up just yet, but I've got her Violet, and then these are two paintings sent to us. And then the magnolia with the cardinals. And then I couldn't find any 5x5 frames, so I put this one in a shadow box. And then here is her constellation. And this is her map, so we can find it. So I'm excited to find places for all of these. This is a very cathartic project. I did end up with a couple extra frames. One I just got confused on and bought way too big and didn't have anything to put in it. I think Violet woke up when I was at the store and then I just forgot to put it back. So these are the frames that I have. You watching over me? The time has come to hang the pictures that I framed. And then perfect timing, my sister-in-law is up visiting and brought me this beautiful cross stitch that she made. Made me very emotional, forever in our hearts. Magnolia Linda Hamm and then Violet Hamm and their birthdays. How beautiful and sweet is that? I just love it. So thank you, Teresa, for this. Let's get them hung on the walls. All right, friends, I'm happy all the pictures have been hung up. That was a good project to do here to celebrate 6 months postpartum with our sweet baby girl, Violet. She's doing amazing. On top of all the things that have happened, she's doing amazing. She's like discovered her hand. She's grabbing things. She's trying to roll over. She's laughing at things. She can sit up like in a little seat and play with toys. She's just doing really, really well. We just celebrated a little impromptu 6-month little birthday celebration with my sister. I just said, hey, I'm going to grab a cake. Can I bring it over and we eat it at your house with your kids? And I just had Weston and Everett and Violet with me at the time. And she said, yeah, that would be great. Well, then she blew up some balloons and like had some cute flower napkins and stuff. I think it was things that she had bought for my baby shower. And my baby shower, unfortunately, ended up being the day I had surgery in Denver. So that never happened. And after losing Maggie, we just never felt like having a baby shower. I had my virtual baby shower, and then I didn't feel like the one with my friends and family here just didn't happen. So anyways, she had a few things left over from that. I'm going to put the pictures here. So cute. Violet really zoned in on the cake. She's never like wanted any food that I'm eating, but that cake, she was very interested in that cake. So adorable. We love her so much. We love her. We're grateful for her. Hard is not the same thing as bad. These last 6 months, this last year has been hard. It's been a growing period. I'm changed. I'm not the same, but so much to be grateful for. Grief does not have a timeline. But there can still be so much good, even when there's that hurt. But anyways, thanks for coming along on this video. As I gave my 6-month update, I hope things made sense. I know in the beginning of the video, I was using the word distraction a lot. Like my kids are a distraction. My kids themselves are not a distraction, but I get distracted from the grief and the pain when I do the things that I love. It gives me a little bit of a reprieve. I don't know that distraction was the right word, and I used it over and over again, but more of just like a reprieve, a time to be like, oh, there's so much good. But then sometimes you get hit with the sadness too. Anyways, love you all so much. Thank you so much for being part of This Alaska Life, and we'll see you again real soon for more adventures.
Right now? Yeah. You have to show me. What the heck did you do that? I was pretending to be an
She loves it when you jump.
like that. I love you, baby. She loved me so much. She was like,
I never.
Mine was like this.